Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 64. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, I just want to take a minute and thank you for sharing your time with me. Time really is our most valuable asset, and the fact that you're willing to share your time with me truly does mean so much to me. So thanks for being here. I'm excited. I just got back from a really powerful training seminar that I went to, hosted by Alex Hormozi and his team. And if you don't know him, he is brilliant at helping organizations grow. So businesses grow and how they can get to the next level, make their first multiple seven figure, and then even potentially partner with him if that is something you would want to do in the future and you meet the criteria. But what I really learned a lot about was a great reminder was how are you showing up as a leader? And I want to talk a little bit about that today because so many of us as entrepreneurs started off as a solopreneur. We did everything. We did the marketing, we did the sales, we did the follow-up, we did the accounting, we did all of it. If it had to be done, we did it. I always joke around in the beginning, you cook it, you book it, you bake it, you clean it, you do everything. And I think that is really valuable and has a really important part in our trajectory, in our growth as a business. And I know for me, I've always done that. I know when I was general manager for Marriott Hotels back in the day, I always made sure that I understood, and before I even got to that position, that I understood what each department did. And I would go and be in housekeeping for the day. I'd go be in food and beverage for the day. I'd go spend time with the valet and the bellman and everything in between, just to make sure I really understood how it worked, because there were some positions in the organization that I didn't hold that I think it was really important for me to learn. So what I love about being an entrepreneur and launching my own business was I was forced to do things that don't come naturally to me, or that maybe I don't even enjoy that much, yet I did it. And you will get to a point you should get to a point with your business that you've grown to where you need to bring on some help or some leverage, or to start replacing yourself in departments or divisions or areas of your business that really just is not your strong suit. You could do it for a while. You could get the business to a certain level, but to break through and take it to the next level, you really need different talent than what you are. What I loved about the time that I spent over the last couple of days with the team with Alex, and it was really cool that he was part of it and his wife was part of it. But the cool thing about spending time with Acquisitions, which is their company name, was they really helped you to identify as a leader what your constraints were, what your blockages were from keeping you from going to the next level. And I think I've shared this with you guys before in previous podcasts. One of the things that one of our areas of opportunity is in marketing and bringing on somebody else to do that. So it was just nice as a reminder. But what really stood out was conversation we had around leadership. And whether you're a company of one or a company of 100,000 people, there are some really missed opportunities as leaders in our industries, in our organizations, in our lane that are missed if we don't become intentional about it. So here's what I know. I've had the privilege of coaching real estate agents in particular for the last 14 years. I am a licensed agent, have been since 2001. I grew a team. I did all of that stuff myself. So I personally have made a lot of these mistakes on my own. And I just wish someone would have just taken a minute, like we're going to do today, to talk about some opportunities, some skills that you must develop to become a leader. And if not, that you're really setting yourself up for an unpleasant ride or a lot of turnover, a lot of churn in your business, which is really hard for the person who's doing the hiring and training to have this constant turnover. So as a leader, again, these are things that should be established, in my opinion, from day one when it's just you, or it might be you and a business partner, is to really spend some time, number one, understanding what your vision or your mission is for your company, being really crystal clear on what it is. And what I love about creating a vision for the company is, what is it that makes you unique or different from other organizations in your same lane that allows you to stand out or would make people want to come and be part of your organization. Having a clear vision and a clear mission is the number one thing that you should be doing, because here's what I know. We as entrepreneurs saw an opportunity. We as entrepreneurs saw that there was maybe something missing that if we did would enhance our industry or allow us to stand out in a way that was serving people at a really high level. That to me is your vision. Why did you decide to do this? So spend some time being really clear on your vision. You can go to our website, rethinkcoaching.com, and take a look at ours. It took a moment to come up with that. But once we did, that was truly the foundational piece for most of the decisions that we have made moving forward for ourselves and as our company has grown. We always lean into the vision. We always make sure that anybody who wants to come and join us is clear on what our vision is and that they make that vision their vision. So that's really important for us to be clear. I think that's the number one thing, is just to identify why you're there and why they would be there. Number one. Number two, set clear expectations. There's absolutely nothing worse, and I've seen this a million times, where an agent gets busy. So I'm talking about real estate agents growing a team or an organization. They get busy and they're just looking to hire and hurry up and get people in to help them because they've got too much business to handle on their own. And they're not really clear on what their expectations are. And expectations are really, really important. If you want somebody to be able to perform and show up at a high level, you've got to let them know what your expectations are. You need to know what they are, number one. And number two, you need to be able to relay those expectations to anybody that you're thinking about bringing into your organization. Those expectations are things of behaviors that are non-negotiable, of actions that are non-negotiable, goals or results that are non-negotiable. What are your expectations for that role in your organization? And really being able to say that clearly, because if you don't say what your expectations are clearly, the person you're bringing in will create the expectations for you. And that's where a lot of conflict comes in, is when the hiring person is not clear on what their expectations are. So get really crystal clear on what your expectations are and be able to share that with the person that you are looking to bring into your organization. Number three, which sounds really, really simple, is just getting into a position of rapport and trust with somebody coming in. So that means not only sharing what the value is that you and your company will offer to them, but asking them what the value is that they would bring to you, letting them share what assets they bring to the table, what they could do to enhance the working experience that you would have with them. And that makes them feel heard, makes them feel part of it. But that's really important for you to know that, because that may make a difference of bringing them on maybe a little bit sooner than you were ready for, or maybe looking at putting them into a different position than the position they're talking about with you. But you've got to be really clear on the values that you bring and the values that they bring to you and your organization. The other thing that I will say is important to do in this phase is to, you've identified expectations, but also identify like how they're going to win with you, and ask them how you can win with them. So when somebody asks me that question, how can they win with me? That is to always be honest and upfront, and to own if they've made a mistake in a way that we can work on it together. Don't dump your mistake on me looking for a solution. There's a 1-3-1 formula that I love. State what the problem is. So if we've made a mistake, state what it is. Come to me with 3 potential solutions, and then tell me which one you think is going to be the best way to move forward. That's how you're going to succeed and win with me. And for others, I think they just need to know how they're going to succeed and win with you in terms of how you will handle conflict or when a mistake is made. Because let's be honest, mistakes are going to happen. We're just people showing up, doing our best that we can. And a lot of times things don't go according to plan, or something happens that you've never experienced before. But as a leader, letting them know how they can win with you and how you can win with them is truly, truly important. The other thing is, really just spend some time getting to create opportunity for the person coming in. I love one of the things I learned early on as an executive leader was to talk to the person about the position that they were potentially interviewing for or looking at coming on and joining you, but also having the organizational chart with you so that they could see opportunities for them to grow. Now, this was a lesson I had to learn early on. Some salespeople don't want to take on different roles. They love to hunt and kill. They love it. And we think that great salespeople should be moved into director of sales or director of marketing or these leadership roles, when the reality is some salespeople don't want to do that. Couple of reasons. They don't get to hunt and kill anymore. And if we're being really honest, compensation. Salespeople love knowing that they've got control over the compensation, their earnings that they're going to make. So have that organizational chart in the event that somebody wanted to be able to see what opportunities were available for them. But I do like to create that space for somebody to know that they're not just here for one position if they have a desire to do something different. So I love creating the pathway for them as a leader. One of the other things that I think gets overlooked, because let's be honest, and I can say this because I grew my real estate team. I waited too long to bring on the leverage that I needed. And then it was one of those moments where I just needed bodies. And it wasn't a great experience for myself or the people that I brought on. I wasn't clear on the promise I was able to make to people. There are leaders and there are not leaders in this world. And as an entrepreneur, I think you earn the title of leader because of our innate ability to create something, to see a path forward, to see an opportunity. And that gives you some credibility as a leader. I'm going to say this, and I don't want it to offend anybody, but there are people who are not leaders yet are incredibly impactful within an organization. They just don't want to take that head lead role, or they don't have the skill set for it. But that's where you need to shine as a leader. And a lot of times, especially in the real estate line, agents who grow their business don't shine as a leader, and they wonder why they're continuing to churn and lose people, and people are leaving quicker than they thought, or people are learning from them and moving on. It's because they haven't been clear on the promise that they're making to somebody who chooses to come and join their organization. Think about it. If you were going to join somebody else's organization, and I know as an entrepreneur, that's kind of like, I would never do that because I'm an entrepreneur. But if, let's just say you were going to go join an organization, wouldn't you want to know what their promise was? Because you're placing your trust in them, your income, your life, the impact on your family, yourself, the people you care about are hinging upon what is happening inside of that organization. So spending some time being really, really, really crystal clear on what your promise is incredibly important. I know for us at Rethink Coaching, our promise is that we'll treat everybody fairly and that we'll treat everybody like a whole human being. And that goes for our clients as well. But it really goes for the people that choose to come and work with us as coaches or come and work in our amazing support team to help us out. Is that our promise is that you'll always be treated as a human being. You'll always have a voice, and you will always have opportunity to have a conversation, especially if something isn't going well. And that, to me, that promise is really incredibly important that people know. The other piece that I see missing a lot is culture and community, which is so key. Whether you're all virtual and remote, whether you're a brick and mortar, whatever that is, what is the culture and community that you're building within your organization? Are you clear about it? I think sometimes as leaders, I'm speaking for myself right now. I do not need an award. I do not need a piece of paper that acknowledges I was the top salesperson that month. I don't need the pat on the back. I don't need the accolades. I just don't need that. For me, I operate out of tell me what I need to do. I'm going to go put my head down, get to work. And when I achieve the goal, I'm going to internally celebrate. I don't need a lot of external acknowledgement. Now, that is not how everybody operates. And I will share that I failed miserably early on as a leader. I think it goes back to the way my parents taught us about work being serious and you just did what you needed to do, right? I just show up and do my job. But as a leader, I learned early on that sometimes just telling somebody great job, rewarding them with a positive affirmation, giving them a $20 gift card to Starbucks or to their favorite restaurant, just because you're acknowledging that they did a great job, is really important. And that builds your culture. That builds your community. It's a big reason why people will stay. I have witnessed firsthand talking to someone, and I can show them on paper how they're leaving $100,000 or more on the table by staying where they are. And their loyalty to the company that they're affiliated with is so strong because of the community and culture that leadership team built. Wouldn't you love that to be the situation for you versus you're recruiting and bringing people into your organization and the back door is wide open and people are leaving because you simply haven't taken the time to design your culture and community? So I'm going to say this: if you already have an organization and you're realizing that some of the things that we talked about today are missing, it's not too late. It's not too late to go back to the drawing board, if you will, and really sit with being clear on expectations, being clear on standards, being clear on how people can win with you, and then also finding out how you can win with them. Being clear on the value that you offer to somebody joining your organization and then delivering on it. There's nothing worse than saying, this is what you'll get by being part of my organization, to entice somebody to come in, and then you don't deliver that. So being really clear on the value that you bring, and then also asking what's the value that they bring. Let them share with you how and where they shine. That is just so key. And then just really being clear on that promise. You have a responsibility as a leader. You truly do. And I see so many people not owning that responsibility and just adding bodies to the mix and then putting them out into pasture because you failed as a leader, but you made it about them failing and didn't own the fact that the reason they probably failed, they didn't know expectations, they didn't know standards, they didn't know how to come to you when something went wrong. They didn't know what the true value was, because the value that you said versus the value offered are completely different. So what you say versus what you do. So being really clear on that, you owe it to anybody that you're asking to come into your organization. Be ready for the growth. Be ready for the growth. If you're not, I promise you, you're going to have constant churn. You're going to have constant turnover. You're going to get frustrated as a leader, and people will start to shy away when they see a constant turn of people coming into your organization and leaving, and that the length of time that people hold different positions in your organization is short. People are smart. Information is out there. So you owe it to anybody who is trusting you with their livelihood to make sure that you show up as a true leader. Team, I will tell you, it is really one of the things I failed at miserably is first leadership with Marriott. I just assumed everybody would show up and do what the job description said they would do and not need a whole lot of praise or affirmation or acknowledgement. When I learned that one thing, to treat everybody differently, to treat them in a way that would make them feel important, it was a game changer. One of the books, if you're struggling as a leader, I think it's one of the most powerful books that you can get, and even in relationships that you have, is by Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Languages. And I know that sounds strange in a corporate setting, but my team leads, the folks that I coach that run organizations, I have them do that, and I have them do that for anybody in their organization, because it quickly identifies the language that you need to speak to that person. It's not romantic love. It's not. It's about, is this person somebody who needs words of affirmation? Is this somebody who needs a plaque? Is it somebody who needs a gift card? Is it who is it, and how can you best speak to them to keep them engaged and motivated to want to just show up and naturally do more for you and your company? So Gary Chapman, 5 Love Languages, is probably one of the best leadership books that you can read to understand that not everybody is like me, who is 100% okay not getting an award, not getting a gift card, not getting a pat on the back. Just let me do my job, and my celebration happens when I internally know that I've achieved the goal. Yeah, bonus checks are great. I'm not going to say I don't love those, but I don't need it to be public, but that's just me. That's not everybody in your organization. So again, as a leader, you owe it to yourself and your organization to show up as the best version of you. So please make sure that you're doing that. Go get some leadership skills. Do not just build a team for ego or status. Build a team and an organization because you need those positions to help you leverage more in what you do. As always, if you have a question, reach out to me, Tony at Rethink Coaching. Happy to help you out. Leadership is a challenging thing for some people, and we've got some great, as you can imagine, coaching tools around it to help you become the best leader that you can become, or to prepare yourself to be a leader. I promise you, if your business is good, you're going to be forced into a leadership role. You're going to be forced into a leadership role, especially in the beginning. Do it right, and you will love what you create. We'll talk to you in a week. Have a good one. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.